is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
We're back with movie number 2 of the Countdown to Christmas season, A Christmas Angel Match, which originally aired on Sunday, October 19th, and is currently available to stream on Hallmark Plus. Keep up with us and all the latest from Hallmark throughout the season on Instagram and TikTok, where we are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, we have a Facebook group. Come join us there, Girls Gone Hallmark in Facebook groups.
For the season, we created a Countdown to Christmas bundle. It's just a series of printables you can use throughout the season. There is a printable schedule of the movies. There's a printable checklist to keep track of what you're watching and what you still need to watch. There are 10 unique bingo cards so you can play with your friends. There are some word searches just for fun. There's an Instagram story template to share your reviews throughout the season. Check it out at girlsgonehallmark.com. We'll leave a direct link to it in the show notes as well.
And it's free.
It's free. It is indeed free. You know, the very best thing you can do as listeners of this podcast is tell your friends. And one way you can share your love of this podcast is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. And I would like to share a recent review that we loved seeing. It's 5 stars from Mama Magda 28, and she says, "Love this podcast. I'm one of those crazy people who watch every single Hallmark Christmas movie and most of the ones during the year. I love that your podcast makes me feel like we are recapping the movies together like friends sitting around the kitchen table with coffee. Also love that you keep me up to date on happenings in the Hallmark world. Favorite part of each episode? Did you see that?"
Yay! I got a good one today, too.
You do. And in honor of the fact that we're just sitting around chatting with you guys around the table, Wendy, what are you drinking this morning?
My classic black tea, because I'm super fun.
An English breakfast?
Yes, ma'am.
Not even the joy tea?
Not today, no. What about you?
I have a Starbucks Nespresso pumpkin spice coffee pod, and I added to it the new to me, Starbucks brown sugar espresso oat milk creamer, which is delightful. I recommend you look for it if you are a fan of the brown sugar shaken espresso, which I am. I cannot quit them.
I feel like you used to make your own at home, though.
I did, but I like this creamer. I used to make my own brown sugar shaken espressos at home that I liked very much, but this creamer is for adding to hot coffee. Sometimes I like a simpler approach.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump right into A Christmas Angel Match, which for some reason my brain wants to call Project Angel Match every single time, with a synopsis.
2 Christmas angels with opposite styles must unite soulmates before the holiday while dealing with department downsizing and their own unexpected connection.
Christy Will Wolf takes on double duty as both director and executive producer of A Christmas Angel Match. This marks her 46th project as a director and her 3rd collaboration with Meghan in just 3 years.
The script was written by Meghan Ory. According to IMDb, this is her first writing project. Meghan also stars as Monica. She's best known for her longtime roles on Chesapeake Shores and Once Upon a Time, but we last saw her opposite her husband in the 2024 holiday movie Believe in Christmas.
I did read an interview with Meghan where she said she's already working on a sequel. She's got some ideas.
Wait, a sequel to this?
Indeed. Now, it's just early days, nothing that has been picked up or announced, but she would love to move on to the next one.
Got it.
Benjamin Ayres stars as Michael with an impressive 107 acting credits. Ben currently appears in the CW's Family Law and will soon return to Hallmark as part of the True Justice sequels. Yes, parts 2 and 3 are on the way.
I'm guessing 2026 sometime, but who knows?
Here's hoping.
Yeah. Lindera, she only goes by Lindera, joins the cast as Daisy. She's best known for portraying Sydney in the CW's Sullivan's Crossing. She's also familiar to Hallmark fans from her appearance in Believe in Christmas.
Francesco Felice stars as Patrick, marking his first ever Hallmark appearance. With 14 acting credits, Francesco has previously been seen in Alert, Missing Persons Unit, and The Manhattan Project.
Michael Dixon plays Gabriel. Michael has 37 acting credits and appeared last on Hallmark in Head Over Heels in 2024.
Amanda Jordan plays Mirabelle. She's both a singer and an actress, and this movie marks her 8th acting credit. She previously appeared in Feeling Butterflies from 2022.
Jordan Shore plays Daisy's bestie Marcus. This is his 14th acting credit and first time on Hallmark.
Danielle Evie Chambers plays Darcy. With just 9 acting credits, this is also her first time on Hallmark.
Linda McCurdy plays Patrick's adoptive grandmother. Linda has just 2 acting credits, but Linda is also a real-life criminal defense lawyer practicing in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Wow. S.G. Simpson plays Daisy's grandfather, Nathan. With 6 acting credits, he is also a new face on Hallmark.
This movie was filmed in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada in the spring of 2025.
Before landing on A Christmas Angel Match, the movie had 2 earlier working titles. It was first called Touched by a Christmas Angel, then later Christmas Angel Effect.
Maybe this is why you can't land on a final title for it.
Maybe.
Because it just has had so many different titles.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back with our first impressions. Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of A Christmas Angel Match?
Well, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I thought that flash mob kind of slayed. I was into some fun.
Just you wait.
Oh, no.
My first impression is I knew this movie would take us to heaven, but I didn't know heaven looked like the inside of an IKEA.
Oh.
The exposed industrial ceilings.
Yeah, I hear you. I have some thoughts on heaven. Let's
talk what we liked.
Okay. I liked the concept of this movie. Like angels, I like an angel storyline, and I like angels helping people who are super distracted in a tech-heavy world. I thought this was an interesting, out-of-the-box kind of storyline for Hallmark.
Yeah, I agree. I like the take that it's harder for people to make connections, romantic or otherwise, because we're so insular and focused on our devices.
It's so true.
I know. It kind of made me feel bad about myself.
Yeah, believe me, I was like, maybe this is why I have no friends, because I am like constantly have AirPods in or my face is down in my phone, you know?
Have you ever heard of a device called the Brick?
No.
It's basically a small magnetic device that is designed to curb your screen time. Like basically you set it up however you want, and when you tap your phone to it, it locks you out of whatever apps.
Oh.
And you can't get back in until you physically tap the device again. So you can't just like bypass it with a password. So if you say like, I'm going to block all my social media, and then you go run errands, you can't get back in until you get home and unblock it. Or for me, I'm considering it. That's how bad the addiction is right now. So to say that this movie spoke to me would not be overstating it.
Right.
I do think this movie was a little polarizing, and I have some thoughts perhaps on why a little later on. But overall, like you said, I enjoyed the movie itself, and I enjoyed the concept a lot. I think it's a nice contrast to our first movie, which was very classically Hallmark, A Royal Montana Christmas, really classic Hallmark Christmas movie in a lot of ways. And this one stepped outside of that box.
Not too far, though.
No, I think I agree with you. It still fits within the parameters of what people are looking for, but I think it's trying new things.
Right. You're not wrong about polarizing. We do that first impressions on our Instagram, and I've seen some really on the spectrum comments about it. Kind of surprised.
Yeah, it's really run the gamut. I've seen multiple people both on our Instagram, in our Facebook group, and then other places across the internet saying they didn't even finish the movie, which honestly blows my mind.
Me too.
But I do have some thoughts. But let's keep going on what we liked.
Okay, I liked the magical realism elements to this. It's charming, a little like snappy fingers and some snow is falling or a little like twinkle or whatever. I'm easily entertained by that stuff.
Oh, me too. I like that too. It makes me feel Christmas magic when I'm still in a pumpkin spice coffee frame of mind.
Exactly. I also really enjoyed the pacing and the dialogue between Michael and Monica. I thought they spoke to each other in a snappy, sarcastic way that I enjoy quite a bit. I didn't think it was mean-spirited. I did see some commentary that some people thought the things they said to each other were mean. I didn't feel that way. There was one line that made me LOL. She tells Michael, "We're not arguing, you're just wrong." And I was like, I am stealing that for myself.
I thought the dialogue was great too. And I think they were a little rough around the edges in learning how to interact with each other because they both did things in very different ways. But I agree it wasn't mean-spirited. They just were kind of like a square peg in a round hole situation. They couldn't quite find their footing together.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked later on in the movie when they talk about why they were perhaps paired together. And she was like, oh, maybe we should have had this conversation before we started working together. It's a nice self-aware moment.
Yeah.
Benjamin Ayres and Meghan Ory are the stars of this movie, but not just in that they receive top billing. I mean, they carry this movie for me. They do a really nice job of having an innocent, earnest vibe about them, which sets them apart from the Tenderhearts. And it was very interesting for me to note because we started watching the movie. My husband goes, oh, the dead people are going to find love. And I was like, well, they're matchmaking. He goes, obviously they're going to get together. But what was interesting to me is halfway through the movie, I go, they're not dead. Angels and humans are separate beings in this movie. And
oh my God. Wait, let me just stop you there. This is all in my wishes.
Oh no. Okay.
No. I just have a lot of questions about it, but like, go ahead and we can circle back to this.
I have questions about it too. Let me just stick with the like part, which is simply that I think their acting did a really nice job of sending that message that they were separate from the Tenderhearts, that they had separate experiences, that innocence that they brought to their acting. I'm often tempted to describe it as like a Buddy the Elf. Like, Benjamin kind of had that like excitement about life.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't quite, what's your favorite color? But I really liked it. I thought it was a good choice on their parts.
Yeah, two thoughts here. They're not dead. She says at one time, we were born angels.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not dead, right?
No, which is my point. Like going into this, I assume that angels are simply people who have passed, and because I think that's often how they're portrayed, right? Like,
right.
I don't actually know how angels work, but that was the assumption going in. And yes, they are fully separate beings who are born as angels.
Right. My second thought is I really enjoyed Michael's fun philosophy. I was into it. You said like, he was like earnest, and I read some commentary that he came off as egotistical. I don't think so at all.
Oh, me either.
He had a completely different way of approaching things and not egotistical. I just think his philosophy was totally different, and I was into his philosophy. That doesn't diminish like what Monica's way of doing things in my mind. To me, they were just different, but I enjoyed both of them.
To your point, you talked about the dialogue in this movie, the great snappy dialogue. There's some great lines. Lines, they call them devious DMs, which really hit home for me. They say he dodges responsibility like a snowball fight. And my favorite is the cheeky little moment where Michael talks about like the life of the Tenderhearts that he's interested in. And he's like, I'm interested in human activities that require a partner. And it's like long pause. And he goes, like snowball fights. And I think that speaks to what you're talking about. Like he's just here for a good time.
Right. That particular line, I was like, where are they going with this? For like a half a second, I was like, where are they going with this? And it turned out real sweet.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devious DMs line, that was from Mirabelle, and I just thought she was adorable. Her delivery landed every single time for me.
Yeah, I think they could have done more with her. Like I would have been happy to see more of her.
Agree. I have several more likes.
Okay.
Do you want me to just run through them?
Sure.
Ben's wardrobe, I thought was sharp, looked great. And she even made a comment at one time about his fitted shirts, and I was like, "Well, I don't hate it. I don't hate any of it." Yeah. Love that. The holiday decor throughout, I thought was absolutely stunning. I have dogged on so many movies where I have said, it looks like Hobby Lobby has thrown up all over the place, but I thought the Christmas decor in this movie looked really nice.
I agree. Very classic.
Yes. Another thing I really liked was the subtle LGBTQ moment where we have
her best friend.
Her best friend. I was like, it was a quiet yay,
Quiet yay, a quiet yes.
I mean, I need more. I need more Hallmark, but a quiet yay came from me. And my last thing I really liked, and I'm going to circle to the flash mob scene. I thought it was so joy-filled and cinematic. It was like slow-mo and they're laughing. Nice. And it set a whole vibe. But what was really funny to me was right as it's starting and they're trying to get Patrick to dance. They're trying to force Patrick to dance and they're like almost moshing him into like this. And I just thought that was so hilarious. It was executed beautifully. I just thought it was really funny. Now, would I ever participate in a mob dance? No. Would I want to see one unfold in front of me? Sure. I thought it was fun.
Well, we'll come back a little bit to the flash mob.
Okay.
It's nothing to be worried about. Let me just wrap up my likes here. I think they did a really nice job of world building this heaven, the DCC. We take the time in the beginning of the movie to set the scene. We learn who these people are. We learn their motivation. We know about Monica and Michael and why their mission to set up Daisy and Patrick is so important. Gabriel, there is a real opportunity to make him exist off camera the entire movie, and he doesn't, which I appreciate. I like the humorous take that there's the threat of them being merged with the Cupids in the Valentine department. The economy spares no one. That being said, I liked all of that. As we transition to our wishes, I would like to say this movie is very dialogue heavy. And I like those scenes, like the yoga scene, right? There's not a lot happening, but they're connecting. They're having a conversation. And I think particularly when the dialogue is being delivered by Meghan and Ben, who had this great on-camera rapport, who I really connected with, I liked it a lot. I think it is possible that there could have been viewers who wanted a little more showing than telling. If you look at the top of the movie, it's like 15 minutes. The whole like pre-commercial is them setting the stage. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like details. But I wonder if that's where they lost people.
Oh, interesting. I don't think you're wrong. And isn't that ironic? Considering the theme of this movie is that we live in a distracted world and we don't have any, attention span to listen to details.
Where's Alanis when you need her?
Exactly.
I love that. Well, let's talk more about your wishes.
Why is heaven downsizing?
Yeah, what is there a financial issue? That's a great question.
Why are there real world problems in paradise? I don't understand. This should not be an issue.
At the end of the movie, Gabriel's like, "You saved Christmas." I'm like, "What happens if these two don't get together?" I don't understand how that saved. What's the consequence?
Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't fully understand the connection between like the Department of Christmas Connections. Like, why is there a Christmas deadline on these matches?
Other than it being like the most wonderful time of year, I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Mm-hmm. That is a good question. One of my biggest wishes, I hate it. I hate the uptight female meets the fun guy trope.
Sure.
I hate it. I will talk about it in every single movie we watch when it comes up. I hated it. But Ben is so charming. as the fun guy, I was like, all in. Yeah, you're right. I do need to loosen up. As he's talking about fun, I personally have a problem with fun, right? So
Me too. Sure.
he was speaking to me in a sense.
Well, look, at one point he's like, you're all about the rules. And my husband just is like silently laughing to him because I am a rules girl. I am a like, if this, then that. These things must be in place for the following things to happen. And it spoke to me. That said, I didn't find it grating again because I thought, you're right. Ben was so charming in his delivery. And part of me is like, can we flip the script? Because the person who has to mellow out was Monica here. Like she was the one, but he does acknowledge later on that they both have their own strengths in this department. So yeah, it grates on me too, because I feel like people are like, that bitch, right? And they're like, that's not fair. That's not fair. She's had to play by the rules the whole time. Listen to Taylor Swift's The Man. Come on.
Exactly.
Can somebody explain the ending to me? Are they humans now? Like, do they live on Earth?
This is what I don't understand, because these people were like magically appearing in and out of places, right? And at first I was like, oh, no one can see them.
Yes, same.
For a long time I was like, nobody can see them. Okay, that makes sense. And then the guy at the Christmas tree lot sees them.
Yeah.
And wants to take their picture under the mistletoe and so on and so forth. And then there's another instant as well. And I was like, wait, okay, people can see them. So are these angels that are living amongst humans? Like they're appearing as human? Like what is happening? I don't understand.
That I struggled with too. Like when they disappear in front of the Christmas tree guy and he like, oh, it's like, oh, where'd you go? What? They literally disappeared before your eyes. The details, this goes back to us not being any fun. The details of how the angels exist among the humans are unclear. And then at the end, Gabriel's like, you're being promoted to a life of love. What does that mean? He snaps his fingers. They're in all white, but they experience their first kiss, which we forgot to talk about. It's confusing to me. Was there a scene that was cut out that perhaps explains it better? Or am I just demanding too many details from a movie about matchmaking angels?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we just have to go, all right, I accept it for what it is, right?
I think you're right.
Let's talk about that scene where their first kiss with the eyes open.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like they were like testing it a little bit, right?
I mean, if you've gone nearly 600 years without a kiss, maybe you're like a little nervous.
Agree. I thought their kiss was nice. I mean, it's no Warren Christie.
No, I'm glad that he's like, should we do that again?
Oh, yeah. It definitely needed a do-over for sure. Very cute. Very, very cute.
Can we talk about the flash mob? I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I'm just surprised because I literally wrote in my notes, the flash mob, is that your biggest nightmare, that erupts around you?
Oh, no, I don't care if it's happening around me. I don't want to be pulled into it. I don't want to be mosh pitted into it.
Well, that's my point. It rose up and they were in the middle of it. I mean, poor Michael. That scene with Michael is my worst nightmare.
You and I have been adjacent to a mob scene, a flash mob, right? In San Diego. You were there that time, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
At Blog Her 11, when we met, there was a flash mob at like lunch that day.
Oh gosh. Wow. I have erased that from my memory. Okay. I mean, well, that's the thing though, is like flash mobs have kind of fallen out of the zeitgeist.
It's very dated. Yeah. 100%.
But I guess when you're 600 years old, maybe time has a different meaning.
True.
Like 10 years is recent. Sorry. Go ahead.
My question is this though. A flash mob is like a pre-organized choreographed dance.
Right.
I don't think normal people just jump in on it unless it's like line dancing, which maybe people that know, or the Macarena or something like that.
Yes, correct. Which I think is demonstrated in the fact that Meghan and Ben do what I can't even describe as dancing. Now, I can't dance, no shade from me, but they're just kind of like, I don't know, they're just kind of jumping and flailing their arms around.
Look, I thought it was damn delightful. When the scene ends and everybody has dispersed and they're just still there, like dancing, totally reminded me of a time where my husband and I went to the House of Blues and we saw a cover band, and we're all on the dance floor dancing to this cover band. It was playing Jesse's Girl, and all of a sudden we look around and we're the only two out there still.
Look how fun you are.
It was 25 years ago, so
Sure.
not that fun anymore. But it totally reminded me of that scene, and it just it brought so much joy to me. I just thought it was very funny.
I'm laughing to myself as you say not that fun anymore, because as I was watching this movie with my husband last night, I turned to him and I go, "Do you like my new glasses?"
Do you like my new readers?
I needed an extra pair so I could keep one in every corner of the
Hilarious.
That's romance 20 years later.
Oh, this brings up a really good point. Back to the movie. So Ben is built on wants to make these relationships built on like fun, right? And it made me think about it. It really made me think about it because like after like the romance has kind of died, like the attraction, if you are in a relationship built on common interest and fun, like that is a solid relationship.
Yes, you genuinely need to enjoy being around each other.
Exactly.
The other thing that made me think is a lot of the relationships that Michael set up, my understanding is they were not forever relationships, right? They ended. Am I remembering that correctly?
That's correct.
And I was thinking, that's really interesting because as a person who's been married for 20 years, if I were to get divorced tomorrow, would you be like, oh, her marriage failed? Or would you be like, oh, she had a 20-year relationship, like she raised a family, right? Like, are we looking at things, does something have to last forever for it to be valuable and meaningful?
Right,
Or
exactly.
could it just have been like the right thing at that time? I did think about that. This was a real thinker, I gotta say.
It was.
One last little wish. It wouldn't be me if I didn't mention it. I do want to say most of our classic Hallmark tropes in this movie do appear in the strategies used to connect our two souls, which I thought was a nice, fun little twist. However, we do have a misunderstanding trope check.
Womp womp. Yep.
Yeah, which they cleared up quickly, but, I was like, come on, stick around for 10 extra seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I overheard somebody, I wouldn't just like walk away. I'm
Barging
out the
right
door
back
frame.
in. Uh-huh,
Yeah,
I want to hear the whole conversation at least.
exactly.
Well, are you ready to talk? Did you see that?
I am.
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I'm going to save my big one for a second.
I really only have one.
Okay, so let me hear yours.
It's Benjamin Ayres' hair.
Okay.
Now, it's not a negative. Best hair in the biz, okay? My husband was watching this movie with me, and my husband has an eye for good hair. Like, we have our things, right? He has an eye for hair. So as we're watching, when they would jump from place to place, heaven to earth, or within earthly locations, his hair would often change. Because he's like, oh, his hair's got a lot shorter. Oh, his hair got a lot longer. Oh, his hair's curlier than it was in that scene. Because obviously there are different locations that are filmed on different days. But
Right.
he was like, oh, his hair changed again. He was on hair alert. I didn't notice one time until I went back and looked. But my husband was on hair patrol.
It's so funny that you say that because if you follow Benjamin Ayres' Instagram, often he'll mention his hair like it's very curly, and sometimes it's like curly and wild, and he'll be like, the hair is doing hair today.
Yeah, the hair is hairing. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so like it's so funny. Maybe your husband needs to follow him on Instagram and like.
My husband's not on Instagram.
You're right. I forgot. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, I love Ben's hair. I thought he looked real sharp in this entire movie.
I did too.
Looked great.
100% agree with you. There is zero shade being thrown at Ben's hair. It's just one of those true did you see that moment.
My did you see that's are one, the Footloose joke I thought was so good.
I did love the Footloose show. What's
He's
Footloose?
like, how do you he goes, yeah, what is this, Footloose? I died, and then he had to explain it to her because she didn't know what Footloose was. Just thought it was great. Thought it was so great. Especially like his reaction was like, how?
Yeah.
I just thought it was so good. The other thing is that they call their department the DCC, and the DCC is Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
I had to write it down because I could not. Was like, what could it possibly stand for?
It was so funny to me. So funny. And my final did you see that was a true did you see that. As I was watching the movie, I flipped out. Michael and Monica are somewhere. They're trying to matchmake. They're like at a market or a craft fair. I don't remember. And what do I see on a display in the background is a bunch of Romance University sweatshirts. And I applaud you.
Yes, that's so fun.
I thought that was so amazing. I hope that other people noticed it as well because, Ben he's a champion for his Romance University brand, and I like their mission over there. I just thought it was so fun and clever to see it in the background of this movie.
I think the hardcore Ayres heads definitely noticed.
Ayres heads, yes. You're right.
Before we get to our rating, where are we ranking this on the smoochometer?
Smoochometer. What was the range? I forget.
Well, the pulled out of a hat yesterday. I mean, I said 10 out of 10. Flaming lips.
I give it a solid 7.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Hey, I love this new little segment of our.
We need to create the image. We need to get it up on Instagram.
We got to. Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's talk. What did you rate A Christmas Angel Match?
I gave it 3.75 stars.
Whoa. I gave it 4.25 stars.
Oh, I liked it. I'm just, you know what? I think I'm just tiptoeing into this season maybe a little conservatively.
Sure. You want to save those ratings.
Exactly.
Just in case. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. If you love this podcast, friends, we do really love those ratings and reviews, especially if you're an Apple Podcast user. But, if you're a diehard user of another app, rate us there, please. But if you're an iPhone user, hop on over to that purple Apple Podcast app, drop a 5-star rating, let everybody know why you love us, and we'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.